Welcome back to the channel. My name is Abel and welcome to a look at the final group in the Euro 2020 simulation of Football Manager 2020. We've been going through each group, looking at the 4 teams in each group and looking at how they got to the finals and the squad they're taking. And we're on Group F, the last group. The next video you'll see from me after this will be the first game of the tournament on Friday, so I'm looking forward to that. Every game will be a premiere on YouTube, so you can join the chat, but today we're going to look at Group F, the last group. And we've saved the most interesting for last. I'll explain why in a second. This group consists of Germany, 3-time European champions, also Norway, Switzerland and Turkey in this group. Now, little bit of a confession. When I first came up with this idea and when I first set the save together, I completely forgot about the lack of an actual German national team. Meaning that in this tournament, Germany is made up of fake players that don't actually exist. It was a complete oversight when I set it up, and I was too far into it to actually do anything about it and restart it, because I'd already started doing some of the graphics for the squads and I was too far into it. If I'd have noticed it earlier, I would have restarted it and done another simulation and actually had the German national team in there, but because I was too far into it, I've decided to just go with it. I guess it's going to be a good experiment to see how a team of great fake players do in the European Championships. So that's what we're going to do instead. It might be interesting, but we will have to wait and see. The other 3 teams, Norway, Switzerland and Turkey, I think it's going to be very close between those 3 to see who qualifies, because Norway have some good players and young players in Erling Haaland. Switzerland have always been like pretty solid, and you know, quite often they'll get through a group. And Turkey, they've got some good records in other tournaments like the World Cups. They got to, I think, a semi-final in one stage. Germany, it is no idea how they're going to do. They do have 3 games in Munich though, Germany, so 3 games in the Stadion München. The other 3 games take place in Budapest in Hungary in the Puskás Arena. So 3 games in Munich, 3 games in Hungary. Turkey, Switzerland and Norway are not a host city. So as we've been doing with the other 5 groups, we're going to have a look through each team, how they got here, and have a look at their 23-man squads. The first fixture is between Turkey and Norway, so we'll start with the Turkish national team, shall we? Turkey with a world ranking of 37, managed by Şenol Güneş. I don't know that they do. They've only qualified for 2 World Cups, one in 1954, and then their 3rd place finish in 2002 in Korea and Japan. In the European Championship, they've qualified for 5 finals. They did reach a semi-final in Austria, Switzerland in 2008, finishing 3rd. Turkey finished in 2nd place in Group A of qualifying, level on points with Albania and 3 ahead of Iceland. France, clear winners in the group, and of Turkey's 10 games, they won 5, drew 3 and lost 2. Started off well with 3 consecutive wins, beating Iceland 2-1 at home, a 2-0 win in Moldova and then a 4-0 win in Andorra. They did lose to France at home, but did manage to get a point, as I mentioned in the last group. Martial saving a point for France. Turkey almost getting a famous win there. 2 draws against Albania saw them drop a few points, as well as a 3-2 defeat in Reykjavik in Iceland. June warm-up games both ended in defeat, a 1-0 home loss to Russia and a defeat 4-1 in Austria. I'm not going to go over the absences too much because I don't recognise a lot of the players, but Okay Yukuzlu, a high value player at 9.25 million that didn't go. But we've got 3 goalkeepers. We've got Shakir from Trabzonspor, Günok from Istanbul and Sinat Bolat. In defence, we've got Kan Ayhan from Fortuna Düsseldorf, Zeki Çelik of Lille, Demiral of Juventus, Caner Erkin of Beşiktaş, Gökhan Gönül of Beşiktaş, Hasan Ali Kildirim of Fenerbahce, Çağlar Söyüncü of Leicester, and Toprak, centre-back from Werder Bremen. In midfield, we've got Emre Belözoğlu from Fenerbahce, Irfan Kahveci from Istanbul, Ozan Tufan, Arda Turan, experienced player from Barcelona, and Yusuf Yazici from Lille. In the forwards, we've got Hakan Çalhanoğlu of AC Milan, Emre Kılınç of Sivasspor, Cenk Tosun, who plays for Everton, Deniz Turic, Enes Ünal of Real Valladolid, Cengiz Ünder, injured at the start of the tournament, out for a few days. He plays for Roma, and Burak Yilmaz is the final player, and he plays for Beşiktaş. They take on Norway in their opening fixture. Norway with a world ranking of 47. Lars Lagerbäck is in charge of them. Norway in only their 2nd ever European Championship, the first of which was in 2000, where they went out in the group stage. And they've only qualified for 3 World Cups as well. Only 2 of those were in the 90s and 1 was all the way back in 1938. Norway finished in 4th place in qualification Group F behind Spain, Romania and Sweden. Sweden, of course, losing in the playoffs to Austria. A bit of a surprise there. But Norway managed to get through. 10 games in qualifying, Norway won 5 and they lost 5. They did not have any draws. They had pretty decisive wins over Malta and the Faroe Islands, 5-0 and 4-0. They did lose 5-0 at home to Spain, and they lost 2-1 twice against Sweden. So Sweden, a bit unfortunate not to qualify, but they didn't do well enough in the playoffs. Norway, meanwhile, did manage to get through via the playoffs. They beat Finland 2-1 at home in the semi-finals, Soloff and Elyounoussi scoring in that one. And then it was a 4-2 win in Scotland at Hampton Park to qualify. Scotland did lead 2-1 in that match, but Ohi Omoihwamfo with a second half hat-trick to send the Norwegians through. 2 warm-up matches in June, both ended in 1-0 victories, one at home against Denmark, one at home against Italy, Haaland and Soloff scoring in those. Christopher Adger from Celtic has a long-term injury, so he is not in the squad. But Norway and Lars Lagerbäck with this 23-man squad. Rune Jarstein of Hertha Berlin is the first-choice goalkeeper. Sean McDermott of Christiansen is another goalkeeper. And Örjan Nyland of Aston Villa is third goalkeeper. In the defenders, we have Omar El Abdawi, Evan Hovland of Rosenborg, Martin Linnes of Galatasaray, Birger Melling of Rosenborg, Havard Nordtveit of Hoffenheim, Tore Reginiussen of Rosenborg, Sigurd Rosted of Brøndby and Jonas Svensson of AZ Alkmaar. In midfield we have Sander Berge of Sheffield United, Stefan Johansson of Fulham, Fredrik Mitscher of AZ Alkmaar, Mats Møller-Dæhlie of KLC Genk, and Martin Ødegaard of Real Sociedad. In the forwards we have Mohamed Elyounoussi from Celtic, Hakan Evjen, Erling Haaland going to be one to watch in the tournament and could see Norway get through. Of course, the Borussia Dortmund striker, formerly of Red Bull Salzburg. Bournemouth Joshua King also in the squad. Ohi Omoihwamfo of Molde in the team. Sondre Sørli of Christiansen and Alexander Soloff of Trabzonspor completes the Norway squad. Then we come on to Germany. For the sake of this, I'm going to say that Joachim Löw is in charge because it lists no manager, no captain, no key player. And as far as I can see, Joachim Löw doesn't even exist in the game. So for the sake of this, I'm going to say he's in charge. But it is an oversight on my part for forgetting that the German national team wasn't actually in the game. So I do apologise for that. If I'd have found out earlier, I would have done something about it. But I was too far gone to do anything about it. So I'm sorry. Nonetheless, Germany did qualify from Group C with 8 wins out of 8, completing a perfect run. Holland finished in second place in that group, and then Northern Ireland got into the playoffs. But 8 wins out of 8 for Germany. They conceded just 3 goals. They were at home against the Netherlands, at home against Belarus, and 1 goal conceded away against Estonia in a 2-1 win. However, the 2 warm-up games both ended in draws. They drew 2-2 away against Bosnia and Herzegovina, and they also drew 2-2 at home against Russia. I would look at absentees for the German squad, but let's list them, shall we? Mario Götze, Thomas Müller, Mesut Özil, Manuel Neuer. Basically every German player. The team's there, but none of these players exist, so there's really no point in me going through them. It may well be that this team does incredibly well. God, if they win it, that's going to be ridiculous. If a team of fake players wins Euro 2020, that would be mad. But there's Germany for you. 4-time winners of the World Cup, of course, most recently in 2014, though they did exit at the group stage in the following tournament. In the European Championship, they have won it 3 times. They got semi-finals in the last 2 tournaments and finished runners-up in 2008. So could get their first victory since Euro 96 if they do get the win. But their opening game is against Switzerland, ranked number 13. They're in their 5th tournament. All 5 have come since 1996. 3 exits in the group stage. Last tournament they did get through to the round of 16 before going out. That was in a penalties defeat to Poland. In qualifying, they finished in 2nd place in Group D, 3 points behind Denmark and 1 ahead of the Republic of Ireland. 5 wins, 1 draw and 2 losses in their group. 2 defeats came both against the Republic of Ireland, 1-0 defeat in Bern and a 2-1 loss in Dublin. They did get a 2-1 win at home against Denmark to kick the qualifying off, and wins against Georgia and Gibraltar were pretty much foregone conclusions. Norwich's Josip Dermich not in the squad, Kevin and Barbu of Wolfsburg not in the squads, but the Switzerland squad looks like this. Borussia Dortmund's Roman Bürki is the first choice goalkeeper, and behind him we have Gregor Kobel of Stuttgart and Jan Sommer, the 31-year-old from Borussia Mönchengladbach. In defence, we have Manuel Akanji, also of Borussia Dortmund, the central defender, Nico Elvedi of Mönchengladbach, Tim Klose of Norwich, Leo Lacroix of Saint-Etienne, Stefan Lichtsteiner of Augsburg, Ricardo Rodriguez of PSV Eindhoven and Fabian Schär of Newcastle. In the midfield, we have Samuel Campo of FC Basel, Edmilson Fernandez of Mainz, Remo Freuler of Atalanta, Gibril Sau, who plays for Frankfurt, Granit Xhaka, the Arsenal midfielder, Dennis Zakari of Mönchengladbach, and Steven Zuber of Hoffenheim. And in the forwards, we have Albion Ajeti of West Ham United, Breel and Bolo, wide player that plays for Mönchengladbach, Mario Gavranovic of Dinamo Zagreb, Admir Mehmedi of Wolfsburg, the striker that will be looking to get the goals, Haris Seferovic of Benfica, and lastly Yerdan Shaqiri. That is the squad. They're managed by Vladimir Petkovic, and that is the last team. We've gone through all 24 teams in the past 6 videos, so that's it. Hard to tell how this group's going to go. Germany are a complete unknown, but obviously the players that they have are very good, even though they don't really exist. This could go either way. Norway, Switzerland and Turkey, all with pretty good squads. Switzerland, I'd like to see him get through and do well. Norway, of course, they've got Haaland. He's going to be a bit of a wild card, a whiz kid. Turkey, I don't fancy them to make it, but we'll see what they got. So that is the previews complete. All 6 groups have been gone through and previewed. The next video you're going to see from me will be the first game, which is Italy versus Austria. Now what I'm going to have to do to make sure that I can view all these games is I'm going to have to create like 4 managers, because I've got 1. I'm going to have to add like another 3 managers, because there's some days where there's 4 games on. So I'm going to have to put four videos out that day. That's going to be ridiculous. I don't think I've ever put more than 2 videos out in one day. Still not really decided what I'm going to do if there's multiple matches at one time, because usually in the group with the 3rd and final games, both games are run simultaneously. So on the final day, let's say for example Italy played Poland and Austria played Czech Republic, both those games will be on at the same time. So not sure what I'd do in that instance. I'd like to give them both their own videos, in which case I might upload both of them and you pick and choose which one you want to watch. Not really sure yet. I've still got a lot of things to decide on. I'm going to be recording the first match hopefully as soon as I can, because obviously I want to try and get ahead, because if I'm going to be putting 4 videos out on one day, it's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be an awful lot of work. The team previews are complete. All that remains now is for us to actually play the tournament and see how things go and see who wins. France are going to be one of the big favourites. Of course, they're the world champions and they could for the 2nd time become world and European champions. England have got a favourable group. We'll see how they do beyond that. And you've got people like Belgium as well, who are always going to be difficult to count out, always going to be dark horses. You know, Wales got to the semi-final last tournament. Who knows how well they could do again. There's a lot of unknowns in here, and you've got some of these sort of sides that don't really expect to be here. Georgia, they're going to be a complete unknown. No idea how they're going to do. And you've got the fake team of Germany, of course, who are, it's going to be interesting to see how they do. But we'll see over the next month or so how things unfold, and we'll have a winner of the Football Manager European Championships sometime in July. But anyway, that is going to do it for today's video. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, and if you've enjoyed all of the videos previewing the 6 groups in the tournament, then do give the video a thumbs up, leave comments, and if you haven't done so already, or if you're new, then do consider subscribing and turning on notifications, and I will see you in the next video. I'm looking forward to this. Italy versus Austria will be the first game, and it's going to be on Friday, so be there. For now, thank you for watching. I will see you soon. Goodbye.